Hello and welcome to One Storyteller, where this episode is going to be 45 minutes or less, says my co-host. I'm Reagan.
I'm Andrew, and that's just a guess, but we'll see what happens.
Yes, that was a direct quote.
That was pretty close
Sort of.
to a direct quote.
So
Yeah.
It was a modified direct quote.
Okay.
Pretty close. So what we have this week, we've read over chapters 11 and 12 of the Fellowship of the Ring. I feel like sometimes I forget to mention that we're actually reading Fellowship of the Ring. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it kind of like
I-
says it right on the thumbnail.
Yeah,
and-
so that helps.
yeah,
Hopefully that helps.
I hope so. And anyone who's watching at this point is like aware that we're doing Fellowship of the Ring, I feel like. But we'll make that clear. And theoretically, chapters 11 and 12, neither of them, well, there is a whole lore dump in one of these chapters. I forget. I think it's chapter 11.
It's chapter 11.
And so, no promises. These might not be an hour and 15 minutes each. They might be, because why not, you know? But they don't have to be. So we'll be doing these separately, and maybe if they're shorter, then you'll have something shorter to listen to, and that would be nice. You started out a couple of days ago, before I had even read either of these, you brought up some weird parallels between them.
Oh, it's just structurally, I guess, is the best way to say it.
Yeah.
So both chapters start more or less with long descriptions of traveling. There's some important moments during the traveling, but it is predominantly, okay, we're moving from this place to another place. Both of them have an interjection of a song shortly before an attack by the Black Riders.
Yes, they do.
So, and both of them, I mean, I guess that's sort of a superficial comparison, but it is interesting.
So basically,
Like, 'cause-
they're the same chapter.
no,
Oh.
no, that's not what I'm saying. But it is interesting. Like, a knife in the dark, like what the chapter is named after, only happens on like the last 2 pages or something like that. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. And then Flight to the Ford is just, it's the whole chapter. We'll talk about it next time, but
Right, but especially
it's the
especially
driving
the
point of
very
all of
end.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although arguably Knife in the Dark also kind of happens in the first 2 pages
touche.
of the chapter.
It
So-
has some double application.
Yeah.
But
And if the movie rendition is real, then it also happens in Brie.
well,
Very literally.
what sounds like in the book, it happens very literally there too.
Yeah, well, to some extent. To
Yeah.
some extent. It's interesting. We need to talk about the Ringwraiths at this point.
We do.
There's so much information that gets thrown around about them, especially in, I think it's this chapter, maybe it's next chapter
yeah,
as well.
especially in this chapter.
I'm very confused. It's back to the whole magic thing. I really wish Tolkien clarified some stuff, and it's fine that he doesn't. It's totally
Yeah.
acceptable, but like, I personally prefer it when things are made clear, and the Ringwraiths are not very clear,
Right.
which helps them be scary.
It does. I think up until this point, at least from my perspective,
Yeah.
or not like unequivocally,
Yeah.
but this is where maybe some tears start to show.
Yeah.
I don't think it hurts like the overall story.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just gonna jump into this broad topic, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's what the chapter is about.
Sure.
So.
So I don't think it hurts the overall story
Mhm.
that the Ringwraiths, and I'll just say, like, from my perspective, like the Witch King especially, we know that. Well, next chapter, I'm talking about more than one chapter at once.
Oh,
we know
that's a
these are like
crime.
9 special servants, each of them wielding a ring of power. It's not the ring of power, but
Yes.
that's probably important.
Do we know that at this point? Did they cover that in like chapter 2? Because I know that
Well-
because I know the story, but
Okay. You mean do the Hobbits know?
like, well, has the story said it in the narration that there are 9 of them?
I think at this, well,
I don't think they have, because it mentions. So
I
the story.
think they do say in this chapter And if they don't in this chapter, they definitely say it in the next chapter.
It's not in this chapter, I'm pretty sure, because there are 3. The story starts out with like a flashback, or not a flashback, but it's a parallel time to Crick Hollow, where 3 wraiths go in there. And then we're later told that there are 2 wraiths in Bree. And so when Frodo looks back from Weathertop, he sees 3 coming from the west and 2 coming from the east, and they meet up, and there are only 5 that assault them on Weathertop. Strider says, there are 5 here. I don't know where the others are.
I see.
But I don't know that we have been told that these are the 9 kings of men who were corrupted by their individual rings and stuff.
And the Hobbits don't find out until they get to Rivendell.
Yeah. Okay, so that's like a couple chapters from now discussion?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, sort of. Like, this is probably the time to talk about them.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get a lot more information when Gandalf starts talking to Frodo again.
Yeah.
About
that would
all
be
sorts
nice.
of things, including the Ringwraiths.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Tolkien's magic, like being vague about it, he does. I think that serves the story very well. In most cases, in almost every case, frankly.
Okay. Interesting.
But it I'll be honest, it sort of takes me out of this section. And I'll loop back around to being the apologist for this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm going to raise a concern and then defend it.
Yes.
Or respond to it, rather. But
by all means.
We've... I should have double-checked. I think the Wraiths still wield their rings. I don't know if Sauron has them in a box somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe that's why they're not as strong.
Okay.
But... either way, what we know from reading the book so far is they're terrible. And what Strider's going to tell a lot of things in this chapter. Like they hate the blood of the living. They sense it more keenly than any mortal can sense things with mortal senses.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah.
I like that part. That's cool.
That's a cool lore drop.
Terrifying and cool. And then we've also read that the Hobbits and others have always felt this horrible presence around them. And I love how Tolkien says, well, they can feel our presences like that, but more keenly. Yeah. That's also really cool.
Yeah. It is a weird sixth sense that the people have towards danger and danger has towards them.
Yeah.
Which is
so I like that.
Yeah.
But I don't like that I don't know if it goes back to their abilities or maybe it's just their planning.
Yeah.
But it feels strange to me that you got the Witch King who apparently summoned the Barrow Wights. That's not mentioned here in this book, but he summoned the Barrow Wights to that area.
Yes.
He can do that. And we see him doing some magic in the next chapter. We can talk about that more
yes,
later.
we do, apparently. That was the thing.
I think that was cool, too. But we don't see... we don't see a lot of that. We don't see any other examples of that as far as I can tell.
No.
And it's... I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but they're...
Definitely.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Their abilities... They come in and attack the inn.
Yes.
I think that's what I'm trying to get at. That's the most relevant part here. They come in and attack the inn, and there's just a pair of them.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd think they're at least equal to Strider.
Yes.
You know? Maybe they're not.
But they're not.
But,
yeah.
But you'd think they were.
Yes.
But they say, okay, the Hobbits aren't here. And then they just leave. And they prank the stables and set the ponies loose.
Yeah. Well, it's not just that. We'll walk through there in just a minute. I can't believe I'm trying to defend Tolkien from you. Let you criticize
you want to
something.
do the opposite of me.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I don't think that's actually that bad of a plan. They don't attack the inn. They sneak into a room.
Yeah.
It was loud. The window was forced. I presume that it might have woken somebody up. And then they say, oh, the hobbits aren't here. I don't know where they are, but there's stuff still in the stable, so I'll make sure they don't have that.
Well, yeah, sure. It's not a terrible plan.
Yeah.
I just wonder it wouldn't be too long to search an inn, and they don't lose too much. Except apparently they don't like open confrontation,
Yes.
which seems like a pretty glaring weakness of people you're sending
Well,
on a very important mission.
They don't like open confrontation. They also really don't like fire. And I imagine the
Yeah.
inn is fairly well lit. That's the
Yeah,
typical tavern setting.
it
you know?
is.
And so
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know exactly why.
No, it does make sense, but it
Yeah.
does sort of make them less terrifying.
Yeah.
Um,
These are not omnipotent beings either.
they're not. Yeah.
There's a whole line when they go to Weathertop about how they might like to come on top of Weathertop because it'll allow them to see the area, to actually know what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, they're
That's
scary
true.
humans after all, which is mildly disappointing. They're more than that, but it does kind of decrease them. It's like Alien and Alien versus Alien and Aliens. And there's just a lot more of them, but you start to understand them, and suddenly it's not quite as scary. I haven't even
That's
seen
not
Aliens.
a terrible metaphor
Yeah,
or comparison, rather.
yeah. Well, the more you learn about something that's scary, the more you can understand it. And fear of the unknown is the big terrifier. So
Mhm.
they lose a little bit of that here. Still a force to be reckoned with,
Yeah.
but it's in that weird like middle ground where I don't know enough to know what I'm dealing with, and I know too much to be totally afraid of them.
Yeah.
And so they're like, they've lost some potency here.
I
And,
think so.
Oh well, I'm sure it'll be back later.
Yeah. And we'll talk about this later, but the main thing isn't an ability question
Yeah.
as much as like a approach to problem solving.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they're interesting.
But we'll save that. So I think
Yeah.
overall, it's okay. But if there's any weakness in the Fellowship of the Ring, any issue or gripe I have, I think
Okay.
it would be this section of where the Wraiths are moving from unknown forces to sort of known forces.
Yeah.
It feels sort of awkward and a little confusing.
It is very difficult to land any transition like that gracefully.
That's a good point.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
That does not excuse Tolkien from absolutely failing. I want to emphasize that.
Oh
But,
my goodness. So that's not what I would say.
Oh.
But
Well, see, I'm trying to get you to hate on him a little bit. Just a little bit.
yeah.
It makes the points you love stand out all the clearer. Or something. So this chapter attacks, first couple of pages, Fatty is attacked in Frodo's house in Crick Hollow.
Yeah.
For some reason, the Wraith comes to the front door, and then two of them to the side corners, and they
There's,
don't go
one
to
of
the back
execution
door.
issues.
Yeah. So he just runs out of the back door and ends up ringing the bell, or he collapses in fear, and somebody else eventually
Yeah,
rings
he
the
makes
bell.
it to someone else's
Yeah.
house. Yeah.
I think it's interesting that there are 3 riders there. I don't know if that's because of Frodo, Sam, and Pippin, or what it is, but it seems like they would have 1 for each. Is maybe why they did 3 in that area, and 2 just kind of a broad searching just in case. The Wraiths end up leaving when the alarm rings. It makes sure to say it's not because they're afraid. It's because they don't need to be there anymore. Like, they know Frodo's already gone, which is kind of weird to me. We'll bring this up later on with some Wraith abilities, but like, I don't know. I feel like they would have known that he was gone, but
Yeah. Well, I think that's one consistent point.
yeah,
Is they can be even a few feet away and not know that.
that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have good senses.
Hmm.
It's good to be afraid of them, but that's not one of the issues I have with them,
Yeah.
because it seems consistent that they're not completely aware of everything around them.
Yes, but then I don't really understand what Strider says later. That they are drawn by the ring if they know that the ring has now traveled
Mm-hmm.
a long way away. But
Yeah, that is
that's
sort
a
of nebulous.
that's a
That's fair. That's fair.
point that I will raise later on
One
Weathertop.
thing that
Yes.
is kind of metal and scary about the Wraiths with
Are they even called Wraiths at this point? They've just been called Riders.
That's just what you call them.
Yeah.
It's infecting me.
Well, it's what Frodo calls them too, but we'll get there.
But
Prophecy.
with the Fritiger section at the beginning, it looks like they do, what is it? The very last sentence of the final paragraph.
Ooh.
They rode down the guards at the gate and vanished from the Shire.
Rip.
I think that's implying they kill them with the horses, right? They rode down
Probably.
the guards.
Probably, yeah.
So they're reckless drivers.
They are Jehus. Yes. That is exactly how this works. There's also a mention in there that there's a voice that calls out open in the name of Mordor. I assume that's one of them.
Yes.
Like,
A voice, thin and menacing.
it's just kind of weird to have the big bad shadow shapes talk like human beings. I feel like that's a decrease of their threat as well, because up until now, like, we've heard that they have had conversations, but all you've actually heard them say is the weird wordless screech that
Right.
there are words in, but you can't understand
But
them.
it's been implied
Yeah.
they can talk, and if they're on missions of this sort, they have to talk.
Yeah, it's disappointing to see it
I guess I can
a
understand
little
that.
bit.
I think it's more the context of it is. It
When-
kind of goes. It's in pairing with like
Yeah.
not investigating if there's a back door or
Yeah.
not. It's like, well, I mean, I guess if you think you have them cornered, you can like
Mhm.
say, "Come on out. I don't really want to break in there."
Yeah,
But,
but then he immediately breaks in anyway.
yeah.
So,
So
it's odd.
it is odd.
It's odd.
It is odd.
Not a huge fan of this. It is interesting that they use the name of Mordor. They invoke that, like someone would say, in the name of God or in the name of the law.
Yes.
They use Mordor, and so that is their standard. That is their the thing that they hold to. Mildly terrifying for what Mordor is, but
Yeah.
as Pippin says, at least we won't have to go there,
That
which-
is a good bit.
which we'll also get to, I guess.
Yeah.
So the horn of Buckland gets blown, and they run away.
Yeah.
This is when Frodo wakes up in Bree. He's had this little dream. He kind of like hears the horn vaguely. I don't know if that's real or if that is part of his dream as well. But when they wake up, they see evidence of what the riders have done there.
Yes.
And I assume this is just the two that are hanging out in Bree. This is not the three having run all the way over from Buckland really quick. So it's nice to see. There's this mention that, like, if they had, yeah, it was good that they had taken his advice. If they hadn't, they would have just died.
Yes.
When the wraiths come in and break open the window and check all the beds, and there are those little fake guys in there,
Yeah.
but they're not the real hobbits. So instead, the wraiths just run off all of the horses.
Yeah. Which is a very good backup plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a minute ago you said it was a terrible plan, but now here it is. Now here
That's
it is a very
not what
good
I said. No. So I
Possible.
was saying that I think what they do is good. I just think they should have been doing more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely could have searched other rooms, although also in the inn are random dwarves and random other travelers. When they run off the horses, they run off all of the people's horses,
Yeah.
the men of the Southlands and everything else. Ooh, the Southlands, like Rings of Power. Anyway,
No, not
yeah,
like
what a
that.
great show. I love that
Anyway,
show.
you're saying
Yes. And so I don't know if they're like, they just don't want to get into a fight. Because even if they can take Strider, if they break into a room with like 5 dwarves, that's a different fight. They could probably still win that, but it's going to be a lot less comfortable, and then a lot more people are going to get involved. And so I don't know if it's just that kind of a consideration or what they're dealing with, but they'd rather just get rid of the horses and take them out outside of town than search through every room in the inn and hope that they don't trigger everybody.
you know what?
Are you coming around and now you...
I thought of a really good explanation for everything.
Oh, yeah, by all means.
I think I'll save it for the next chapter, though.
Oh, okay. Oh, and now I'm in suspense.
That's,
terrible.
hey,
We'll have to
same with
rush
the
through
listeners.
this.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get there. So let's see. So Strider's good. He's vital for their survival. If they don't have him, they will die.
Yeah.
That was
So this is a really good job of illustrating their intense need for
Yeah.
help.
Yeah, and he really volunteered to help them out in the wilderness,
Yeah.
but he's also helping them in the town. Like
Yeah.
he's the only reason they survive long enough to get
Like
into
the
the
moment they
wilderness.
meet him, he starts helping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's like the first line of dialogue to Frodo as well. It's like, be careful, buddy.
like, yeah. So it's nice to see him demonstrate his competence so thoroughly and so immediately.
Yes.
He's made a lot of promises.
Certainly agree.
And he fulfills those promises because he's a cool guy. Also, they continue to call him Strider instead of calling him Aragorn. I don't really know why.
That's how they were introduced to him.
Yeah, but like, I like Aragorn better, but whatever. The book calls him Strider, so that's what I have written. There is an interesting note on the horses. Did you catch that? On like,
Oh, we're jumping to that?
well, it's the next thing that happens.
Oh.
Because they have this conversation and they're like, all right, we're going to leave. Oh, we don't have horses.
Oh, this. Okay. No. Okay.
Yeah. And so they end up buying a horse way overpriced, but that horse is pretty cool and he'll be very good for them.
Yeah.
There's a note on all the rest of the horses.
Mm-hmm.
Did you catch anything with that?
You're referring to they missed the hard road. They had to work harder in Bree, but Bob treated them well.
Yes.
So on the whole, they were lucky. They missed a dark and dangerous journey, but they never came to Rivendell.
That is so cool.
It is.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of a pulling back the curtain moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's we've seen this idea like every chapter.
Yeah.
The idea of you have to make hard choices and leave what's comfortable.
Yeah.
In order to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see that with the ponies. So it's fine. These ponies are working hard in Bree. That's great. They never went to Rivendell.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like a pulling back the curtain moment. It's like, this definitely applies to the Hobbits here.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty artfully done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's that part of it. They don't get to go to the elf city because they weren't willing to go out into the danger. It's the Hobbits.
Yeah.
They weren't able to go to Valinor because they stopped before the river. They weren't willing to go out there. You also have this mention that they went back to Tom first.
Yes.
And then Tom ended up sending them back,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't really know what that's supposed to mean exactly, except they've gone out into the world of men. They're not allowed to return back to the simplicity that Tom has.
I don't think that's what it is.
What is it?
I think there's like some characterization being shown on the ponies, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that's sort of getting carried away with it, frankly.
That's what happens to the hobbits. They're not allowed to go back. That's everything we've seen up to this point with Frodo and his friends.
Mm-hmm.
Is they've gone too far. Now you're not allowed to return back where you're comfortable. You have to keep going.
Sure.
And so-
I will take parallels to the ponies, like as far to the hobbits as far as it's mentioned here.
Yeah.
I think everything else is more mundane.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's why it mentions that they go back to Tom and then he sends them away.
I maybe, but probably not.
Yeah. Oh, no, definitely. The last thing that happens there is Sam assaults Bill Ferny with an apple. And then they leave.
Which is so based. Yeah.
Kind of based.
It is quite.
Yeah, I mean, as
Quite
they're
warranted.
leaving, they see this
Half goblin looking
suspect individual.
Suspect individual.
And he just kind of makes fun of them. And then Sam's like, no, you, and throws an apple at him.
Yeah.
Which is not a great response, but oh well.
Sometimes people need apples thrown at them.
But Sam even regrets it. He says, I should have just kept it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It was a waste of a good apple.
It was a waste of a good apple.
That's a good point.
Maybe he's repenting of throwing an apple at someone's nose.
You brushed over something I mentioned at the end of the last chapter. I told you here you'd see Butterbur really be an excellent chap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yes. I think there's a couple things here right at the gate at the beginning. Is it looks like he was one of the people staying up all night watching the tavern.
Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, it appears that way.
Yeah.
So it seems like he was again, he's with his servants,
Mhm.
and he's helping to guard his establishment.
Yeah.
He probably couldn't do much against a Ringwraith,
Not at all.
but
Not at all.
that speaks to his character, I think, that he
Mhm.
was willing to guard the place, even if he couldn't do much, and if he wasn't successful either.
Yeah.
More than that is he's willing to spend a lot of his own money.
Yeah.
To buy this new pony for the
Mhm.
hobbits.
Well, an old pony.
Right.
Yeah.
They lost their old ponies. They got this new pony who is old and looks like it's about to die.
Yeah. Should be about to die.
But
Thankfully doesn't.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, in addition to that, he's providing all of their, or most of their provisions for the journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is their resupply stop, and he's not charging them for
Yeah.
any of this.
Yeah.
He knows this is dangerous. He doesn't know if he's going to see these people again.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know if they're going to be successful. He's like, I'm going to help you as much as I can.
Yeah. And it does say, I think, like, he is relatively richer for the area,
Yeah.
and so he can afford that, but it's still not comfortable
Yeah.
for him. But he's willing to sacrifice anyway.
Yeah.
So
He's a cool guy.
I like him.
Mm-hmm.
He's cool. He can't do much, but he can do a little bit, and
That's
that's what Strider told him to do
Mm-hmm.
in the end. Well, a 45-minute episode is looking halfway over at this point, and we are 5 pages in. So
most of the rest of it is walking around.
it's boring. Okay, so I mean,
It's not.
it's
boring.
exciting. There's a lot of stuff that happens. They walk through some hills.
And some marshes.
They walk through some marshes, some fields.
Yeah.
Sometimes on the road, mostly not.
Mostly not.
Then they find a big hill, and they spend the night there.
Whoa.
I mean,
Okay.
that's like that's a lot of this journey. Not there are like little moments, and what the narrative does is kind of an overarching picture of
Yeah, we go
it's a
through,
montage sequence.
We had 2 chapters that were like one evening, and
Yes.
now we have days and days flying past.
Yes, for both this chapter and the next chapter.
Yeah.
A bunch of days summarized all together. There is a mention right at the beginning that Strider's going to take a shortcut, and Pippin's like, this is terrible, and Strider says, no, mine work.
Yes. And
And it does.
it does. And it's just like you were saying, right at the gate we see that he's competent and able to help.
Yeah.
My cuts, short or long, do not go amiss.
Yeah. Yeah, don't go wrong. It
Oh.
rhymes. Short or long, don't go wrong.
Is that what he said?
That is what he says. It's on page 205 in the authorized version.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, anyway, that's cool.
So you have travel by day, which is new for the Hobbits.
Yes.
But it's what they were supposed to be doing the whole time. So that's
Mhm.
cool. You have off-roading, which is unpleasant, but as the Hobbits have seen, that is what generally works to avoid the enemies on the road. You have Strider being odd. There's like this sense in the chapter that he is different. He's a human being, but he's not just a human being. And I think that gets brought up especially later. But there are like a couple of mentions where all of the hobbits are sleeping and he's not.
Mhm.
He's just like always there watching, which is mildly threatening, but also, he's not normal. He's done this before. He's very comfortable with this kind of life.
Yeah.
Totally unbothered by the travel conditions. Even insofar as when they go into the marsh, the Midgewater marshes are full of, biting little insects. The only ones who are bitten and who complain about it are Sam and Pippin, are the hobbits.
Yeah.
It doesn't even mention that Strider is bitten. There's just a complaint about how they only eat hobbits. And so I'm sure that he was technically, but like
Yes.
the emphasis there is on the hobbits are unsuited to this,
Yeah,
but
and
he
it is,
totally is.
To your point, yeah.
Yeah.
Emphasizing how green they are and how drastically more experienced he is.
Yeah. Although at this point they've slept a couple of nights in ditches, so they should be
According to Pippin. They should
totally
look just
equivalent
like him.
to everything that he is. There is this one thing that bothers him, which is there is a light that is flashing in the eastern sky.
Yes.
I have no idea what that means.
Nope.
Okay. Is that related to like Gandalf, do you think?
I'll have to wait and talk to Gandalf.
Okay. Oh, is he going to like tell us about this? That would be nice.
This is a foreshadowing bit for Gandalf.
Okay. Because when they get to Weathertop, there will be something from Gandalf
There'll
up
be
there.
a sign of a pretty big fiery fight.
Okay, I guess that would make sense. Okay, cool. I did not piece that together by myself. I don't. So they cite this place called Weathertop.
Mm-hmm.
Weathertop is a big hill, sort of, with like it used to be a watchtower.
Yes.
Back in the ancient days, so it would be very high for the area, very elevated, able to look out over the hills and see a lot of stuff that's there. He mentions there's like a vague potential to meet Gandalf there, and there's a vague potential to meet the riders there because the riders would need to go up and survey the landscape.
Mm-hmm.
And so they decide to take that risk because, it's like a 50-50 shot on whether it'll be good for them or bad. And it ends up being bad, but oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later we'll find out they just barely missed Gandalf there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Rip. There is a mention of, firstly, Knickerbreakers in the in the marshes.
Yes.
Are great. I've killed tons of those in Lord of the Rings Online. I've always wondered what they were. Like, who decided to name them that? It was Sam. It was Sam the whole time. It's a great.
That really
sound
is
effect.
a good word for that sound.
Yeah, I made that sound effect to my wife yesterday, and she was like, "What?" So she'll figure that out.
Fair response.
In a couple of weeks, when she listens to this, she'll figure out what I was saying.
Oh,
and that'll be great. There is a mention that birds and other things become spies for the enemy.
yes.
Birds aren't real is confirmed in the Lord of the Rings universe.
Oh my goodness.
I think that's a yes.
Sorry, I have to keep being on the podcast, but I feel more exasperated than I've ever felt.
You just lapsed from reality for a moment there.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, I just read it.
Let's
Strider
focus on
said
the
it.
book. Is yes.
Yeah.
We see there's more, agency with different animals.
Yeah.
Than perhaps in our world. It's more explicit here,
Yeah. Well, there have always been like legends that different birds are spies for the gods or whatever. Odin has his ravens, and otherwise, like blackbirds especially, have been suspect. So that seems to fit within general mythology standpoint.
So,
but not all birds are to be trusted. I agree. What can I say?
I don't think I have anything else to say.
I love that line. Frodo hits us. This is the moment where they decide to go to Weathertop, and it mentions firstly how like thin Frodo is getting because of travel, and this is where Frodo's like, I'm going to become a wraith, which is going to age very poorly. And Strider says, "Don't say that." And well, unfortunate.
Why would you say that?
Yeah. Why did you think that was a good idea?
Yeah.
With surprising earnestness. And, of course, that's what's going to be attempted at the end of this chapter for whatever reason. We can talk about that. So Weathertop, they get on Weathertop, and like a core chunk of this chapter is just on the mountain or on the hill.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on there? Because I have like several different details to go through, but
I think it's that's where we get those really well landing details and terrifying hints about the writers.
yes.
I think that does well to set up the dread of their coming.
Yes.
We'll talk some more about what happens when they actually do come to Weathertop.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's cool. I think we have pretty good characterization for all the hobbits, but we met Merry later, and so he's a little behind.
Yes.
And so I think this chapter
Tries to make up for it.
Makes up for a bit. We see more about Merry,
Hmm.
as he's certainly inexperienced and young.
Yeah.
But Pippin's always just like sleeping or asking weird questions.
Yes.
Merry is asking more appropriate questions.
Yes.
He's having a hand in supplies or talking to Strider. There's like one or two moments, and I think maybe some in the next chapter, where he becomes like the mini Strider. Like he's the one who tried to lead them through the forest and abjectly failed.
Which not exactly his fault, but yes.
No, it's hard to
partially.
It's
his
hard
fault.
to fight a magic tree.
No, it is.
But so he's trying to learn from Strider, who's this excellent tracker and woodsman.
Yeah, and it's next chapter that Strider takes him to go out adventuring or to go out scouting and then comes back.
We see Mary's
I did
asking questions about supplies and distances and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool. Mary's the one who inquires like what Weathertop is.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like one of the Barrow Downs. Is this a barrow? Like, are there, I guess, white or wraith magics here would be the implied question.
There's going to be. No.
If you know the whole background of that.
Yeah.
So Strider says, no, it's just a watchtower. Like, they didn't bury people here. But it is interesting that the only place the riders didn't attack them is the Old Forest with Tom Bombadil and then the Barrow Downs because the Barrow Whites were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's like, no, there aren't whites here, but you will be set upon by the riders. And so it's almost like one evil offsets another, right?
It's
They're going
like
to be
that.
attacked by an evil wherever they go. It's either the riders or it's whatever is local to that area.
Mm-hmm.
So neither is good, and both are just kind of horrible in their own ways. But at least you don't have to deal with both of them at once.
That would be
the
really
positive.
bad.
That would
Yeah.
be really bad.
And do you know what's crazy? No, I'll mention that later. I'll say this instead.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's really cool seeing Mary's blossoming characterization.
Mm-hmm.
But we also get more Samwise surprises.
Yes.
There's this old poem about the last time the elves, the last time Sauron was attacked, when he was overthrown by elves and men.
Yep.
The alliance of King Gil-galad and Elendil.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam knows that song, or part of it.
Yeah. Which Sam knows elf history, which is interesting, and just Middle Earth history in general.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't remember. I feel like that would be weird for hobbits to invest in.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they would like history of the hobbits, and that's about it.
Yes. That's exactly right.
And so it is odd that Sam knows it, but of course he knows it from Bilbo because Bilbo knows it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Bilbo just learned a bunch from the elves or Gandalf or the dwarves. I mean, he has connections with everybody.
He has lots of connections he takes advantage of.
Yeah. So basically, Bilbo set up Sam to be Frodo's companion, is what we're saying.
Unintentionally.
Yes.
It's beautiful choices of life.
It is beautiful.
Sam
It's funny
grew
how
into
that
a
works.
good person.
So, Bilbo ultimately was Sam's motivation. He's how Sam learned about the outside world and why he wanted to see the elves.
Yeah.
Accidentally. And it just so happens that he will accompany Bilbo's adopted son to the elves and then far beyond there, because this is the moment where Pippin says, going to Mordor, I hope it won't come to that.
It's so funny.
Which, I guess he never technically goes into Mordor. So, I guess it doesn't come to that. He just comes up to the gate and everything else.
Yeah.
So, you see that. They go up on Weathertop during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though everybody's going to see them, it's better to travel by day being seen than it would be to travel by night with the cover of darkness and the riders as well. So that is contrary to what the hobbits have done up until this point, and it will end up in them getting attacked anyway, but they were probably going to be attacked either way, so, what
Probably.
can you do?
Yeah.
This is the moment where they actually climb Weathertop, this great hill, and they find this marking on top.
Yeah.
Or like a stone.
Yeah, there's this white stone, I think, marked with the runes for G, and then there's 3 marks.
Yes. Something like that. Which we don't know. It's like not confirmed if that is Gandalf or not.
Yeah, because they don't have the information to know for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so vague. But if it is Gandalf, then he had to run away very quickly.
Yeah.
Because he didn't leave them a long, detailed message, and that's the problem. And that's the moment where Frodo then looks off of Weathertop and then sees 5 wraiths joining together, and they realize they are probably in for a bad time.
That is right.
This is the moment where it's also interesting because Frodo realized his homelessness and his danger. He wished that he had been left in his quiet and beloved Shire. He stared down the road, looking back westward to his home, and suddenly he was aware that there were wraiths in the way. Right, and so the riders become a deterrent for him to actually return home in a very physical way, not just the metaphorical one we've seen up until this point.
Yeah. It's we've been let out into the wilderness to die.
Yeah, a little.
But
bit.
all of these hobbits, even Pippin,
Mm-hmm.
they're more faithful than Israelites in the desert.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that's not a high bar.
It's not, but it is good
for
when you're
them.
better than that. Yeah.
It's very understandable, and it's good that they are not that way.
Mm-hmm.
This is where, after they see the riders, Mary is asking about their abilities. Like, you had us duck. Can they see? Because they seem to just sniff everything.
They can see with their horses.
Yes.
That's crazy. I like that too.
Very odd. They can see like shadows from our shapes.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the sun, which
not in the noon sun.
Is in the noon sun.
Yeah.
So better to travel when the sun is high, and they can't actually see you. But it's like they have like almost psychic abilities.
Yeah. Or like inverse abilities to mortal people.
Yeah. Yeah, and they, I mean, of course, later on as well, they will be in the little wraith world.
Yes.
They are glowing and bright instead of the dark that they are in the mortal world.
Yeah.
So it's like they're beings that are walking in a different dimension and happen to have this weird crossover effect in the actual world. And I don't really know how to quantify that, but it's cool. It's a cool idea.
Yeah, I think it's really well done. But there's a lot of it's just being hinted at here.
I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah,
and it could be a little
I think
touched up. I don't know how.
Some to talk about more in the next chapter. There's one character who kind of throws this all into stark relief.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that would make sense. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that next chapter.
Yeah. It is cool.
So yes, number one, Strider knows all these things about them.
Yeah.
Which is mildly terrifying. Like I know that he's aware of stuff, but to know what the riders are, to know that there are more than 5, to know exactly how they think and see and all this stuff, he's got a lot more going on behind the scenes than we think he does, and that'll also be revealed in the next chapter, I think, with a little bit more of his background. But you've got that idea. I still don't know why the riders, if they can feel the ring, if they're drawn to the ring.
It must not be very precise.
Yeah.
That's
it's somewhere within these 2,000 miles or whatever it is. So, I don't know. That's my personal complaint. But
it is just nebulous.
Yeah.
That part is, sure.
Yeah. I mean, Strider also doesn't know. He's never dealt with this ring before.
No.
And so he may well just be guessing that it draws them, I think. I just don't know where or how or
That's
why.
That's a good point, yeah.
So maybe he's just making stuff up.
That's not a great point.
I don't think he is. But, yeah.
Here's one thing is Strider shuts down Frodo when he makes a joke about becoming a wraith.
Yes.
Later, it's Frodo is about to talk more about Gil-galad. They're like, let's have a story while we're sitting around this campfire at night, terrified of the riders coming. He's about to say the name of Mordor. And Strider says, no, don't say that right now.
Yeah.
I think this is like our first major indication that names have power, which will be relevant later on in this chapter and and in the next chapter.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, don't go around throwing Mordor. Like, that's what the bad guys say.
Yeah.
Like, why are you invoking that?
Yeah. That is interesting. It's like when people say the name of Voldemort and then all the bad guys know where they are.
It feels...
Rowling ripped it off. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's That is a very long, enduring trope.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. I guess is that like back to the. I don't know if Tolkien has a like true name concept,
No, not as far as I'm aware of.
but there is power in
Power and names.
the names that beings do have,
Yeah.
which is cool. They do all gather around a fire to tell the story that they'll get to in just a minute. Fire there's an explicit mention that Sauron can use fire to be bad, but fire doesn't have to be, which is to say it's just a tool like any other.
Yeah, which is neat.
And it is very interesting that fire is this weird counterpoint to the ring. I'll talk about this now because it might as well. Fire is what revealed the ring for what it truly was back in chapter 2.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Gandalf throws it in the fire, takes it back out, and that's what reveals the writing on it.
Yeah.
Yes. Fire is the thing that keeps some of the wraiths at bay. They don't like it. They don't like encountering it. And even at the beginning of this chapter, this is a silly connection, but the call,
No, it's
the
not
horn
a silly
of Buckland,
connection.
is fear fire and foes, and that's why the wraiths run away. Not that they're afraid of it, but they're still running at the mention of fire, which I find very striking. And fire is ultimately going to be the thing that destroys the ring. The fire of Mount Doom is how it's described.
Yeah.
So, like,
It's sort of
interesting.
goes back to that pony point.
Yeah.
Hard road to get to where you need to be.
Yeah.
And that's sort of how fire is. Like, if you're going to use fire, it's like there's some destruction every time, at least a little bit, whenever you use fire.
Yeah.
But you can't beat fire. It's great.
Yeah.
And, pushing the envelope and the metaphor and mixing metaphors and
Ooh.
But
That's
to go a step
suspect.
further is fire and forging, which is all over the Bible as well. And that's always brought up for. It's just a very good metaphor because it's a picture of it's not very comfortable to be superheated and melted down.
No, not at all.
But you're going to be a
imagine.
lot better on the other side of it.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think
The idea, it's like a purification idea, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, well, it depends on what it is, right? Because there's that passage where Paul talks about, I think it's 1 Corinthians 3, where the fire is the test. Those who are pure, our metals are made more pure, and those who are trashy are destroyed.
Yeah, but as we go through, I think this might extend beyond Fellowship of the Ring, but at least here in Fellowship of the Ring.
I like how you're sheltering the microphone. No one can see this, but I'm bringing it up. Sorry.
Is we start reading about people having fire in their eyes throughout Fellowship of the Ring as we get further into the journey.
Is that a good thing?
Happens in intense and resolving situations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Curious. That was not a yes or no.
It's good.
Okay.
Yes.
Generally, yes.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Yeah. You can have a fire for bad things
Yes.
too.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
So that's why I
Boromir
clarified.
moment, but yeah, interesting. So fire can be cool.
Yeah.
Or it can not be. It's up to how you use it.
Yeah. I have one last thing before the writers show up. Do you have other things?
Before I have a couple of things on just the story that's told.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
45
that's what I was about.
Yeah,
to
45 minutes is a bygone era, but
yeah,
oh well.
We tried.
Yeah,
not really.
we made promises, sort of.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I do like that. Strider says, "Don't tell the Gil-galad story here." He says you can tell it in Rivendell, right? Rivendell can stand up to the evil stories, but out in the darkness where you're surrounded by threats is not the time to be dwelling on evil.
Which
things.
is true.
Which is nice. It talks about balance. See, that's what I'm doing, right?
Oh my goodness.
You don't want an evil setting and an evil story, but you can have a good setting and an evil story to properly discuss all the details and figure out how the evil is so bad. That's why I always disagree with you.
Okay.
Tolkien told me to. What can I say?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
For sure.
He's a great writer. I can't resist it. What are your... So Strider tells the story about Beren and Luthien, which is the classic one that's memed on all the time.
Is it really?
I think so.
It's memed on?
I mean,
terrible.
for me, it's up with like Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Really?
Have you heard the story of Beren and Luthien? It's like the one lore bit that everybody has vaguely heard of, but
I'm
nobody
not
really
familiar
knows.
with this. That's terrible.
At least for me.
That I can imagine that for you.
Wow. Okay. Well, fine. Yeah.
No, I think this is great.
Oh, I think it's great too. I also think Darth Plagueis the Wise is great.
Okay,
but,
touche.
Yeah, when I hear it, I feel like that's the sense that comes with it. I don't know if that's legitimate or not, but that's the sense that I get.
It's sort of the sense, like in Star Wars, which Star Wars is great, by the way.
Like,
Amazing. Love Star Wars.
But
in that moment in Star Wars, for 6 movies, amazing.
Only 6 movies.
Only
amazing.
6 movies, amazing.
Only 5 movies. The 6th one is terrible.
We'll have to talk about that at some point.
Jabba the Hutt is a stupid idea. Anyway.
In the 3rd movie, episode 3, I should say, to be specific.
Yes.
Darth Plagueis, that's one of the areas where dialogue is used in the movie to show that there's some ancient, not older stuff.
Yeah.
That's having some implication.
There's foreshadowing.
On the present.
Yeah.
And specifically toward you, our main character.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that happens all the time in Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the lengthier parts.
Yeah.
Tolkien has a very deep and wide mythos to draw upon for this story.
Mm-hmm.
And so he does. And I think it makes it feel, I think it really is one of the things that makes it feel so real.
Yeah.
Is because that happens when you're going about life, is someone will mention something. You're like, huh. And you find little bits and pieces of that.
Yeah.
In fantasy, people will just tell you, this is exactly what happened. And it's terrible for us today.
Yeah.
But things like this aren't always so clear in their relevance.
Mm-hmm.
But usually, if you think about it, there's something to learn from it being brought up.
Yeah.
Especially when someone as thoughtful as Aragorn's telling you it.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of magic to things like this.
Yeah. Even so, I mean, it's not explicitly made clear that this is about Aragorn and
no, it's not. But it is an introduction to him.
Yes.
Because this is a story about his ancestors, but it's also about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't even say. He doesn't even say I'm related to them.
Yeah.
I figure you find that out later.
Mm-hmm.
I just know from prior experience, but it's interesting because this is one of the things that irritated me in chapter 2 is Tolkien is just saying stuff that I don't understand or really care about. But he's writing each character as his own person, right? This is something Aragorn would say and then not explain about himself.
Yes.
Because he doesn't want to. He's telling the hobbits the story to give them the context, but they don't need to know who he is at this point.
No.
And so it's very in character for him to do this.
And it would feel so awkward if he suddenly said, this is how it applies to me.
And that was my great-grandfather.
Yeah. Tolkien's willing to pace himself. Frodo will later learn, oh, what? Aragorn's that guy?
Yeah.
And
Aragorn's just well,
you just have to pay more attention.
Yeah.
And to have some of the stuff in the past chapters on recall.
Yeah. It also helps that it's only 3/4 of a page instead of 3/4 of a chapter, in my opinion.
Touche.
But, yeah.
I guess I can respect that.
Fair enough. There is a mention that elves are immortal but can give it up if they want to. Sort of. It's nebulous.
It is. Might as well say it here. Precisely, it is literally in all the myths about this event and the other parallel event.
Yes. And
you get the implication that it also happens for this 3rd time involving Arwen and Aragorn.
Mm-hmm.
Though I don't think we ever read specifically about this 3rd time. But Beren and Luthien, the 2nd time, both required an act of God.
Interesting. Wait, is Beren and Luthien the 2nd time?
That's the 1st time.
What's the 2nd time?
I don't remember their names.
Okay.
But there's another pair of elf and human.
Interesting. Well, it says that Luthien alone of all the elf kindred has died indeed and left the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know where there would be a 2nd pair.
Yeah. There is a 2nd pair.
Interesting. Maybe it's sure. Aragorn and Arwen.
No, they're the 3rd one.
Interesting. Well,
but anyway, yeah, it's not an act of the angelic deities like the Valar. It's literally the god of the whole universe of which Middle Earth is a part.
Yeah.
He has to say, okay, you can trade in your nature because of this
Interesting.
true and genuine love you have. Are you sure you
Well,
want to do
that's nice.
that?
Yeah.
And then he's okay.
It's like when a video game asks you if you're sure you want to quit.
It is like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was playing. Alt F4 is a great key combination. If you're on a computer, you should try Alt F4 right now. It's great. It closes the program. It's a good time.
Trying to remember what that did.
Alt F4 is just nukes whatever window you're open to.
Oh my.
And if you're in like a video game, Alt F4 just kills the thing and doesn't save it or anything. It just kills it usually. Except in Splinter Cell, because I tried to Alt F4 Splinter Cell one time, and it said, "Are you sure you want to quit?" And I couldn't Alt F4 it. I had to actually confirm, yes, I wanted to quit. It's the only thing I've ever seen that did that. But they made things different in Chaos Theory back in 2004. What can I say? Yeah, so you have this one elf that gave up her elven divine heritage or whatever. But from her, there are like twin majestic kingly lineages. Sort of. You've got Elrond's lineage, which is more the elven side. Elrond, who is in charge of Rivendell.
Like one generation, as far as we could tell.
Well, yeah, but that's
lineage
cool.
is a bit strong, but yeah.
Well, heritage or whatever it is. And then you also have Numenor and Westeros, and ultimately Aragorn.
All of that.
Who's on the human side of it.
Yeah.
So this weird half-elf human combo is pretty effective for world powers. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah.
Her heritage has had an incredible effect on the worlds of elves and the worlds of men.
Yes.
For generations and generations, at least on the human side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And it also starts giving you indications of maybe why Strider is so unique. Because when this will get revealed later, he's not a half-elf, but he is a little bit elven, which means he's a little bit better than everybody else. He's a little bit closer to the divine, as they would say, which is part of why he's displayed so competently and perfectly and everything like that. Which, again, if I didn't know that backstory, then I would probably be complaining about this point.
You probably
a little bit.
You probably
maybe even a lot. But since I do know the story a little bit, it's like, oh, this is cool. I can see how this fits together.
And this is stuff that if you hadn't encountered it before, Tolkien does slot it into place. I think it is a very natural flow. Yeah. But we're talking about it here because it's here.
Yeah.
We're hasty.
Yeah. Well, I just know it.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm flexing my knowledge.
So it's a great story about Aragorn's legacy.
Yeah.
We'll find out later it ties into his future.
Yes.
It also just, it's sort of like the pony aside as well.
Yes.
It's just because it's so universally true. It's like good things happen when you're willing to push through the hard things.
Yeah.
And
agree.
Even in the song bit without Aragorn's explanation, you see most of the story is about Beren trying to find his love.
Yeah.
And it not working.
No, not really.
And it's not till winter is past that he does find her.
Yeah.
And I really like the last paragraph of the song.
Mm-hmm.
Long was the way that fate them bore, over stony mountains cold and gray, through halls of iron and darkling door, and woods of nightshade more or less. The sundering seas between them lay, but yet at last they met once more. Long ago they passed away in the forest singing, sorrowless.
Bro, you actually read the songs?
Yeah.
Oh. Am I supposed to be reading the songs?
This is terrible.
I did read the song.
I know you did. But anyway, it's a good summary of what Aragorn will describe later about how Beren does some heroic things, Luthien does some arguably more heroic things, and then they do even greater things together, like casting down or infiltrating the dungeons of Sauron, stealing from Sauron's master.
Mm-hmm.
But all those things were really intense trials for them. It wasn't like a fun time for them.
Yeah.
But
also, there's a Silmaril.
Yes. Yep.
That seems relevant for the Silmarillion.
You know, They're beautiful.
Does it come up in there?
Many a time.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's one of the dwarf metal songs that mentions a Silmaril.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a whole thing. So that takes us to like the last page and a half of the chapter,
Yeah.
in which the Wraiths attack and Frodo gets poisoned, and then it's done.
Yep.
Which is like,
And we have just crossed the
0
hour
to 60.
threshold.
Yeah.
But it is 0 to 60.
I mean, yeah. Sam has a feeling. Mary sees something, which is very telling for both of their characters.
Oh, yes, it is.
And
I like that.
both of them are right, and they are just different.
Mhm.
And that is perfectly all right. Strider says, get around the fire. Like, make sure that's
course.
at the center of all of you, facing outwards, because without the fire in their center, they are as good as dead. And then you have the riders who come and attack. Did you notice how many of them come and attack?
It's 5.
It's 3 or 4.
Is that right?
Yes. So there's this cool bit. I don't really know exactly what to do with
There
it.
were 5 tall figures.
In most of the way down, like 3 paragraphs back from the end,
Oh, okay.
over the lip of the little dell, it's that one on the side away from the hill.
3 or 4. That is the
He
first
saw
thing.
3 or 4. Frodo puts on the ring, and then he sees 5. And
Interesting.
I'm sure that there were 5 there objectively, but
Yeah.
he only saw 3 or 4, and then he puts on the ring,
Okay.
and it's almost like he summons one, and it's the big one, and it's the guy who actually is the big threat who
Interesting.
really like goes after him. So I don't know why it's written in that way,
Well,
but it's kind of cool.
I like it now that it's pointed out to me.
Yeah,
I missed that.
yeah. So he puts on the ring not even to escape. He just feels an urge to put it on.
Yeah.
And
Which is
so-
like the mind control magic.
Yes, thank you. I'm sure that many people are mind controlled. That's the sound effect
Yeah.
for psychic people.
I
I know.
Anyway.
So Frodo attacks the big one
Yes.
and is stabbed in the shoulder, which like
Instead of the heart, because he attacked the wraith.
yes, he attacked his toes.
Hey, if you're a hobbit, you
mean,
got to take what you can get.
I guess that makes sense. Sword breaks. Rip. He gets
Foreshadowing
stabbed.
for books from now.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, that's true. That's true. And it also gets mentioned in the next chapter. He gets stabbed and then is like crying out in pain. And then Strider arrives with fire in each hand, and that's the point at which Frodo takes the ring off because, again, fire versus the ring is a very odd
Yes.
comparison point.
Yes.
So,
So we are over
I
the
guess
hour
the
here.
Wraiths run away.
But this is where I have to. I was rambling. I probably shouldn't have earlier at the beginning. That was like 10 minutes that weren't very well used.
Well, it's okay. If people skip it, we're still over the 45-minute mark.
Especially after this.
Yes.
Okay, so this is where I'm going to complain about like this moment specifically.
Baller, yes.
So the defense would be, you'd read about this in the next chapter. Aragorn says, I can't think why they would have not continued their assault,
Yes.
except, Sam, they think Frodo's done in. They think he's going to be overcome by this cursed dagger's poisoned magic wound,
Yes.
which is fair. Like, we'll see in, like, part 2 of the Fellowship, he was, like, right on the line. But if I was Sauron, I'm firing everybody.
Yeah.
Because why would you leave it till the last minute?
Yeah.
I was like, surely they know how important the ring is. I just,
You're already here. You know there are only 5 of them. One of them is down. The 3 of the other ones are incompetent.
I'm going to jump ahead a little bit here and
Oh, yeah,
just
go
talk about
ahead.
it. This moment is
Well, maybe that'll make the next episode only 45
may-
minutes.
maybe.
Allegedly.
But the wraiths, we've learned they can reform. Like, you can destroy them, but that's not the end of it. And, like, I guess it's probably, like, a really uncomfortable process for them.
Presumably.
Like, I get if you don't want to die and be reformed,
Yeah.
but, like, have some guts and backbone, guys. Like, it's just hobbits.
Yeah.
I can understand, like, these are, like, more human sort of servants. Like, this is a
Mhm.
very human thing to do. This is good enough.
Yeah.
We'll just watch. He's going to die.
Yeah, it's true.
But also, and I'm jumping ahead again,
Mhm.
is we learn later that all 9 of them were fighting Gandalf before.
Yes.
And Gandalf ran away from just 4 of them. That's why there's just 5 here, is 4 of them were chasing Gandalf.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And later we're going to see just how powerful Gandalf is. Like,
Yeah.
whatever fire Aragorn has here, this is appropriate. What doesn't hold a candle to whatever Gandalf was doing that was making the mountain glow,
Yeah.
you know?
Fair.
And okay, you don't like fire, but we've seen evidence, or we've heard evidence, that you're willing to, like, suck it up and deal with fire, because that's Gandalf's whole shtick, is
Mhm.
he's the fire magic guy.
Yeah. True.
So it's hard for me to buy. It's just,
Yeah.
it's either inconsistent or they're just very lazy. And
Neither of them is very flattering for the big bad enemy that's
right.
the stalker type is not.
Yeah. So that's my complaint.
Yeah. I don't even think I have anything to try and convince you of otherwise.
I think the explanation has to be they're sort of lazy and complacent,
Mm-hmm.
which,
So they're like big hobbits.
sure. Yeah, but that feels, he should have, like, sent something else after them or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's a question of how wraith magic works, because that's not really explained.
I don't even know if it is a question of how their magic works.
Well, yes, but it would be much more reasonable. It is implied that because he's a hobbit, Frodo is much more resilient to it,
yes.
and because of a lot of stuff that Aragorn
like
does.
their magic dagger.
Yes, and so if
Yeah.
they're expecting him to turn within like 12 hours, then
Mm-hmm.
whatever, I guess that makes sense. If they already know they have 4 chasing Gandalf to the river, then I mean they can just form a barricade, which they do ultimately try and do
Yeah.
in chapter 12. And so if all hope is lost, they at least have a sandwich position on these
Sure.
5
Yeah.
people.
I could respect delaying
But, like-
things if it was executed better. later.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
Yeah.
It just seems like they should go at it,
It does seem like a little.
especially
this
if
is
the
a little
Witch King
too
is here.
convenient. Yeah.
Yeah,
The Witch King is here.
yeah.
And
But devil's advocate, Frodo shouted a name at him.
yeah, and we should talk about that. The name of Mordor has power.
Mm-hmm.
Elbereth is one of the, like, angelic deities. One of Valar.
Okay,
She's like the queen of the stars.
interesting. Yeah.
And next time Frodo says this name, the
Mhm.
Witch King
Yeah.
shuts him up. He's like, "Stop doing that."
Yeah.
And Strider will say in the next chapter, Frodo stabbed him, but probably what hurt them more was saying Elbereth.
Yeah. And so I don't know if it was some amount of like
Well, yeah, they don't like fire. They don't like.
divinity is odd. Basically, I like how the movie did it better. It adapts this moment very well.
Oh no, I hate that moment in the movies.
It adapts this moment pretty 1-to-1 for how this book has just described it to me,
Sure.
which is the Witch King was very surprised at Frodo and then just stabs him in the shoulder instead of like aiming, or I don't know. That was weird. And then Strider comes in with the fire and runs him off. So
Mhm.
like that makes a lot more sense to me than whatever it is book wraiths are doing,
Yeah.
which is, oh, we got him in the shoulder, boys. Let's retreat.
Yeah.
I don't think this is optimal,
No.
but I think the movie displays it cleaner than the book does.
I have to think
Maybe
about
that's just
that.
personal preference.
Yeah, I think this is one of my least favorite moments in the book.
Yeah.
Because
We got him.
I'll say the
We got him.
last
One
thing.
negative thing.
This is far over
Game.
45 minutes. But one other thing,
It's relative.
yeah,
It's
is
not. Yeah.
like I do like D&D and such things often.
Oh.
And I don't think, like, D&D is obviously, like, different than a book, you know.
Yes.
But you're doing storytelling.
Yes.
And if my players were Aragorn and the Hobbits, and I said, "Oh, the Ringwraiths suddenly pull back, because I'm going to kill the party if they don't if I don't pull back," it feels like that to me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it does.
I feel I guess it's my like maybe I'm just saying three things at once. I think we have to say Tolkien is like it's within their wheelhouse to be complacent and foolish in this moment,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess is where I have to be.
Yeah.
But
That doesn't really fit with what
I
we've
just
seen.
disagree with that approach. I
Yeah.
feel like enemies such as these should be like really competent.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't.
At
it
least
kind of weakens moments of heroes' competence if you excuse their mistakes by having enemies be incompetent.
Yeah,
And
it would
there's
have.
like some wiggle room. Sometimes it's important to see bad guys making mistakes and stuff, but I feel like there's at least a piece or two missing here.
Yeah. Especially because we do have another chapter where the wraiths still have to be a threat. When you
Yes.
watch them be incompetent, it's one thing to watch them be incompetent and then Frodo gets into Rivendell and then the story changes because it's not we're being pursued anymore, but it is we got to take the ring past
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
But these are still at this point the driving threat behind the book, and they're the only face of evil that we've seen really, and then they're just kind of rendered
They're
impotent.
very much hamstrung here.
Yeah. So
So
not my favorite.
that's
I-
my spiel.
It would have made more sense if it had just been two wraiths, the two from Bree coming
Yeah.
up, and the
I think
other
I
three
could
still
buy them
traveling
being held
over.
off, yeah.
And it's like, well, since there are just two of us, let's regroup, let's grab our friends and come tomorrow night. But at that point, all of them have moved on. And then it's a chase with the 5 versus 5, where they
Mhm.
think they've got the sandwich tactic with the other 4 wraiths on the other side near the Rivendell border. But ultimately, they win. That would have made more sense to me.
I think so.
But I feel like Strider could take one, maybe
Yeah,
2.
1.5.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Just why bother attacking when you can just hold off for
Yeah.
12 hours?
And maybe like a slight defense here
Mhm.
would be they probably we can this is speculation.
Yes.
But I'll speculate this. They're like, "Oh no, we messed up. This hobbit's not dead yet."
Yeah.
But then they can't pick up the trail quite in time.
Yes.
Because you get the sense they're waiting for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if that has to be the explanation throughout most of the next chapter.
Yeah.
Because Aragorn is good at keeping them hidden and moving pretty fast.
Yes, and well, there are a couple of other things in the next chapter
Yeah.
that deter them in
Mhm.
terms of why. It's just the initial pullback is like
Mhm.
you didn't need to do that,
Right.
and that just increases the chances you lose the opportunity,
Exactly.
which is what happens.
Mhm.
So basically, wraiths are dumb.
This was
But
a
we'll talk-
mistake.
Yes.
No matter which way you peel it, this was a mistake here.
Yeah. But maybe it was Tolkien being very smart and the writer is just making a mistake instead of, Tolkien making a mistake. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like how that went, but
Mhm.
so it goes. People do things sometimes.
That's right.
All right.
So
45
thanks for
minutes.
enjoying our 45-minute episode.
Yeah. 45 minutes. I mean, if you add an hour and 13 together, you get 45.
Yeah.
I think that's how that math works.
I mean,
I'm not a math major.
Okay. Well, I
The
trust-
only numbers I do is in the Bible. It's the 4th book. And on that note, thanks for listening to Chapter 11, and we'll see you later on Friday for Chapter 12.